The story of Epaminondas and his auntie, a bedtime story for kids. Today we have a book named The Story of Epaminondas and His Auntie, a bedtime story for kids. I think they're so pretty. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I love it. Please give this video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Thank you, reading. So, here we go. The Epaminondas story is an awesome bedtime story for little-aged kids. This is a story about one small boy named Epaminondas and his auntie. Epaminondas every time make mistakes and fall in big trouble. Epaminondas used to go to see his auntie most every day, and she nearly always gave him something to take home to his mommy. One day she gave him a big piece of cake, nice, yellow, rich gold cake. Epaminondas took it in his fist and held it all scrunched up tight, like this, and came along home. By the time he got home, there wasn't anything left but a fistful of crumbs. His mommy said, "What you got there, Epaminondas?" "Cake, mommy," said Epaminondas. "Cake," said his mommy. "Epaminondas, you ain't got the sense you was born with. That's no way to carry the cake." The way to carry cake is to wrap it all up nice in some leaves and put it in your hat and put your hat on your head and come along home. You hear me, Epaminondas? "Yes, mommy," said Epaminondas. The next day, Epaminondas went to see his auntie, and she gave him a pound of butter for his mommy, fine, fresh, sweet butter. Epaminondas wrapped it up in leaves and put it in his hat and put his hat on his head and came along home. It was a very hot day. Pretty soon the butter began to melt. It melted and melted, and as it melted, it ran down Epaminondas' forehead, then it ran over his face and in his ears and down his neck. When he got home, all the butter Epaminondas had was on him. His mommy looked at him, and then she said, "Law's sake, Epaminondas, what you got in your hat?" "Butter, mommy," said Epaminondas. "Auntie gave it to me." "Butter," said his mommy. "Epaminondas, you ain't got the sense you was born with. Don't you know that's no way to carry butter?" "Yes, mommy," said Epaminondas. By and by, another day, Epaminondas went to see his auntie again, and this time she gave him a little new puppy dog to take home. Epaminondas put it in some leaves and took it down to the brook, and there he cooled it in the water, and cooled it in the water, and cooled it in the water. Then he took it in his hands and came along home. When he got home, the puppy dog was dead. His mommy looked at it, and she said, "Law's sake, Epaminondas, what you got there?" "A puppy dog, mommy," said Epaminondas. "A puppy dog," said his mommy. "My gracious sakes alive, Epaminondas, you ain't got the sense you was born with. That ain't the way to carry a puppy dog." "All right, mommy," said Epaminondas. The next day, Epaminondas went to see his auntie again, and when he came to go home, she gave him a loaf of bread to carry to his mommy, a brown, fresh, crusty loaf of bread. So Epaminondas tied a string around the end of the loaf and took hold of the end of the string and came along home, like this. Imitate dragging something along the ground. When he got home, his mommy looked at the thing on the end of the string and she said, "My laws, messy, Epaminondas, what you got on the end of that string?" "Bread, mommy," said Epaminondas. "Auntie gave it to me." "Bread," said his mommy. "Oh, well, Epaminondas, Epaminondas, you ain't got the sense you were born with. You never did have the sense you were born with. You never will have the sense you were born with. Now I am not wine tell you any more ways to bring the truck home. And don't you go see your auntie neither. I'll go see her own self. But I'll just tell you one thing, Epaminondas. You see these here 6 mince pies I did make? Do you see how I did set 'em on the doorstep to cool? Well now, you hear me, Epaminondas? You be careful how you step on those pies. Yes, Mommy, said Epaminondas. Then Epaminondas' mommy put on her bonnet and her shawl and took a basket in her hand and went away to see Auntie. The 6 mince pies sat cooling in a row on the doorstep. And then, Epaminondas was careful how he stepped on those pies. He stepped imitates right in the middle of everyone, and do you know, children, nobody knows what happened next. The person who told me the story didn't know anybody knows. But you can get. Epaminondas' story conclusion. Epaminondas' story is a very funny and interesting bedtime story for little aged kids. The end. Good job, friends. Thank you so much for reading with me. Bye, I'll see you next time.